Alright, let's get into it. What if a teenager could redefine internet horror and then waltz it straight onto the big screen? Meet Kane Parsons, aka Kane Pixels, the kid who turned liminal dread into box office buzz. I so cannot. Hey, I'm Emma, and I am feeling super curious today. We're talking YouTube, horror, music, and a glow-up so major it's basically a case study in Gen Z superstardom. Buckle up! So, picture this. Kane Parsons, born in 2005, known online as Kane Pixels. He's a YouTuber, filmmaker, visual effects artist, and musician. Yes, all of the above. He blew up in 2022 with The Backrooms, a web series that made office carpets feel like an apex predator. And then, A24, the indie film powerhouse, tapped him to direct the feature, which dropped in 2026 with Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renee Reinsve leading. That's a look. Let me set the scene. A few years ago, I'm at this tiny Bay Area film fest, right? The audience is buzzing about a block of shorts by teen directors. You could feel the ambition leaking out of that theater like dry ice fog. Super dramatic. And I remember thinking, this is either adorable or terrifying, because these kids are already better at After Effects than half the industry, honey. One film hits, credits roll, and the director on stage is younger than the espresso in my hand. The Q&A happens. No ego, just receipts on process and weird little inspirations. It changed my whole vibe about what's possible. Because it's not just talent, it's that obsessive build-it-yourself energy. When I clocked Kane a bit later, doing the most on YouTube and then cashing it in for a real feature, it felt like proof. The pipeline is broken in a good way. Skip the gate, bring the goods. So yeah, when I say seize the moment, I mean it. If you can direct, edit, light, score, and still make it feel cohesive, the room will find you. Kane did exactly that. Okay, let's move on. The Backrooms. Quick explainer. The Backrooms started as a creepypasta, basically internet horror lore about people slipping out of reality into endless fluorescent carpeted limbo. Think sad cubicles, too bright lights, and the kind of hum that makes your soul file an HR complaint. Kane's breakthrough short, The Backrooms, found footage in 2022, takes that idea and shoots it like real 90s camcorder evidence. Found footage means we're watching so-called discovered recordings, which messes with your head because the camera becomes a character. Your heartbeat goes click-track. By 2026, that single short had around 78 million views. So, not mid. Here's the tease, straight up. Kane didn't just luck into that look. He cut his teeth posting meme videos and Minecraft Let's Plays from his channel he started in the mid-1920s. Then he got serious with Adobe After Effects in 2017, did 3D through Element 3D, and finally grabbed Blender in 2020, which unlocked full scene control. That's where the magic happens. Geometry, lighting, camera wobble, analog gunk, it's all under his fingers. Think of his career as a digital quilt. Each square is a skill. Directing, editing, VFX, music production, stitched together so the vibe never breaks. That's why The Backrooms reads as real. The picture and the sound speak the same language. Let's jump to the next thing. Who is this guy really? Kane grew up in Petaluma, California, and studied film at Marin School of the Arts. His dad was a video game developer and his mom is a therapist. They split when he was 7. You can feel those two currents in his work. Clinical psychology meets level design, and the monster is usually the space itself. Early on, he's building worlds and lighting in Little Big Planet, that PlayStation game with user-generated levels. Turns out it's a gateway drug to architectural dread. Cute. By 2020, he's also deep in FL Studio, a digital audio workstation, scoring his own stuff like a one-man studio. The albums and scores roll: Awake, Backroom Score Volumes, The Oldest View Score, Damon, Out of Sync, even singles with tech culture titles like DS Lite and the hacker known as 4chan. It's all a brand, Synths and Concrete and Paranoia, Chef's Kiss. Girl out to his solo work, Nathan Barnett, a comedian and creator, the mind behind the surreal web series Dad Feels, connects with Kane. Kane sends a Dad Feels-inspired video, they trade notes, and it becomes the facility in 2020. Timelines online get messy, but the key is this. That collaboration keeps going, and Kane spins off Pretend, and Kane spins off Project 209, late 2021. ARG energy, internet horror, and character, it trained him to serialize dread. Then there's the Attack on Titan historical footage shorts in 2021. For anyone new, Attack on Titan is a mega anime about giants and grim survival. Kane reframes it as early 1900s war reels, grainy, brutal, uncanny. Fans loved how faithful and scary it felt, and you can see the seeds of Backrooms there. Cheat the impossible as documentary and suddenly it's too real. Meanwhile, The Oldest View. That series kicks off in 2023 with a video called Renewal. It follows a vlogger named Wyatt who finds a staircase into an underground mall. The origin, and I'm obsessed with this, is a single image Kane saved in 2021 of a rolling giant puppet based on a figure by Julien Reverchon. He rediscovers it in late 2022, shares it with friends, and they start collecting media. He could have shoved it into Backrooms lore. Instead, he protects the tone and makes a new world. That's discipline. People Still Live Here arrives in early 2025. It's a digital horror series presented as a video game retelling of experiences by Clifton J. Saywell, an in-universe figure whose documented time in a dimension called the Meadow becomes the story. It's meta, it's moody, it riffs on how we process trauma as gameplay. And yes, he seeded it with a namesake album back in 2023. Long game, baby? Okay, pause, because the A24 chapter is everything. A24, the indie studio behind so many auteur bangers, comes on board in 2023 to do the Backrooms feature. Kane is like a teenager in meetings, so his parents literally sit in on studio Zooms to navigate the business. That's not a helicopter parent moment, that's practical. And when the feature hits in 2026 with Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renate Reinswith, he becomes the youngest director in A24 history at 19. And as a CCI, it does the same as acting as a Director S, which has an instant control of any leader that you can encounter. Also, can we acknowledge the social stakes? We love to yabber about nepotism babies, but here's a kid building pipelines in Blender, mixing in FL Studio, and writing scores on his own channel to keep the vibe tight. That is not a silver spoon. That is brute force consistency. The surprising bit, the parents in Zoom. The controversial bit, people got salty about internet horror invading Prestige Center. But if the work bangs, it bangs. Gatekeeping is an epic fail. Now for something different. The big what if. What if the Backrooms found footage in 2022 didn't go viral? Would Kane still have made it? My take, absolutely. The receipts are in the work. He was already testing archival realism with those Titan shorts, already building ARG-adjacent stories with Project 209, already composing moody scores. If Backrooms hadn't popped, The Oldest View could have become the flagship. Or People Still Live Here. That video game retelling format is so zeitgeisty it hurts. But here's the twist. If Backrooms didn't blast off, internet horror might have lagged in quality another year or two. Remember, pre-2022, a lot of Backrooms content was low fidelity, jumpy and fun, but not cinematic. Kane's version set a new bar and basically shamed everyone into upping textures, lighting, camera language, and soundscapes. So the whole scene accelerated. That's impact.
Also, the teen director on a studio film sent a message: you don't need 10 years of coffee runs to pitch a feature if your YouTube proof of concept is undeniable. Other creators now have receipts to show their producers. Look, it can happen. Gatekeepers hate that for them. I love it for us.
Let's dissect this for a sec. The Backrooms? Found footage is the catalyst, a single video that reoriented YouTube's Backrooms canon. Then, the A24 feature gives it legs in theaters, with Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's an Oscar-nominated actor, and Renate Reinswith, who won Cannes Best Actress buzz, anchoring it. That tells audiences the internet is not a kiddie table anymore, it's dinner service. And on a human note, Kane talked about how his Northern California upbringing and arts-focused schooling helped. That community support line matters. It's not just access to software, it's the oxygen to iterate, to fail, to post, to pivot. My wish is more young creators get that runway, mentorship, microgrants, school programs that say yes instead of wait your turn. The next Backrooms is probably on a teenager's cracked laptop right now. Okay, so what else, you ask? If you're new to Kane Beyond Backrooms, pick The Oldest View for Mystery and Dread in a different register, and sample his scores, Backrooms Volumes 1 to 3 and The Oldest View store. It's a masterclass in how to make a hallway feel like it hates you.
Okay, pause, because this next part is everything. Next time, we're going deep on digital music creation and the rising stars who are building full aesthetics from their bedrooms. Think DAWs, drops, and how a killer score can be the difference between spooky and nope, I'm leaving the theater.
Okay, we covered a lot. Let's leave it there for now. I need to hear your take on this. Would internet horror be the same without Backrooms going nuclear in 2022? So, that's the tea, folks. Can't wait to spill more with you next time. Later.